On today's quick study, we're going to talk about Job chapter 2 and Acts chapter 2. Okay? We're going to talk about the difference between the great notable day and the great terrible day. Which day is terrible and which day is notable, and for who? The bride of Yah, which is Israel, or the bride of Christ, which is the true church, which was born in Pentecost in Acts chapter 2. Notice we're in both chapters at number 2. Now, let's start here, and because someone asked this question, so I'm going to break it down real simple for you. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before that great and terrible day of the Lord come. Verse 32, and it shall come to pass, comma, that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant of whom the Lord shall call. Whoever's left out of Israel. This is not the church. I want y'all to see the stark difference between the two, but they're both worded in context the same. Let's go to Acts chapter 2. Okay? Acts chapter 2, and I believe it's 21. Okay? Uh, as a matter of fact, let's go Acts, yes, 2 and 21. But we're going to go up here. Now, I want y'all to notice this, how this is set up. But there's two different brides being talked about. This is the bride that we are a part of. We're not a bride. We're not a part of the bride of Israel, which married Yah at the mountain, okay, in the Old Testament. Okay? Tell them to wash themselves up clean, their garments white and clean, and meet me back here at the, but they can't come at Mount Sinai, but they can't come but so close. That's the bride of Yah, the bride of God, Israel, the woman. We're talking about in Acts 2 now, the bride of Christ. The difference in between what day it was. Here we go. And the sun shall turn into darkness and the moon into blood before that great and what? Notable day of the Lord come. That's not terrible for us. It will be notable for us. The great notable day. Let's pause and look up the word notable. All right, here's notable. That great and notable day. We already know what the word terrible means. There's a difference. This is the reason why you got to be careful who's showing you scriptures and teaching you, right? Let's look up notable. Standing above others in rank, comma, this is what notable means. Importance or achievement. Synonyms or similar words. Outstanding, distinguished, uh, prestigious, noteworthy, illustrious, famous, superior, celebrated, honor. And this is the day of the rapture, not the day of where God is judging the world through the tribulational period. That great and notable is different from great and terrible, folks. And it's going to be the time that Israel has to run to Jerusalem, the wilderness of Jerusalem, Judea. That's the great and terrible day for them. That day where they're going to find out that Satan's going to chase them through the wilderness, cause a flood to come out of his mouth. It's a big difference in these 2 days. But both days are going to have the same solar eclipse behind it, or that will precede it, rather, as we just read. Okay, so let's go back. Before the great notable, we all know, we just read that before, and so that's what the Lord is in all those notable definitions. And it shall come to pass that whosoever call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. That's different from delivered, folks. These are two different situations. This is talking about the church. This isn't Acts chapter 2 when the church was born. It's talking about a future event. Whosoever call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Saved from what? The tribulational period that's going to come after the snatching, folks. It don't make no sense to say, yeah, you're going to get saved at the end. You're not going to make it to the end unless you're in the wilderness with the bride of God, not the bride of Christ. Saved means being worthy of being counted of escape, for the escape. Okay? And here it even talks about Jesus, how he was among you guys. And in verse 30 and verse 22, that number 22. But you didn't believe him. And Jesus told him the kingdom of heaven will be taken away from you and given to a people that are not my people, that will become my people. Woo-wee. That was the dryer going off in the background, kind of like the train. Just as I said, not my people that are going to inherit the kingdom. That buzzer went off. So it must be time to go, y'all. So there's a distinct difference between Acts 20, Acts chapter 2, and verse 20, 21. Okay. And then 22 just tells you this was your escape out was Christ, but y'all didn't believe it. So you're going to have to suffer it. In Joel, okay, before we close, let's go to Joel chapter 2. And what did we say that was? 32. And the sun, go back to 31. Here's your clear difference, folks. And the sun shall turn into darkness. And again, what do we see? An eclipse before that great and terrible day of the Lord come. It's going to be terrible. The children of Israel started their walk with God in the wilderness for 40 years, and they're going to end it in the wilderness of Judea, the same way, typology. That's not terrible for the bride, folks. It's a notable day for us. And it even gives us clue of that. Those who call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now look here, and it came to pass, whoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. That's not the same thing, folks. Being delivered means you're going to be delivered safely to the wilderness of Judea. Satan is going to chase them and cause a great flood to come out of his mouth. But the word says God's going to cause the earth, and she's going to open up and help her. And there he's going to protect them for the latter half of the tribulation, the latter 3 years, folks. Because if the New Jerusalem sets down on earth, and who's going to replenish the earth with human beings again? It can't be the bride of Christ because you've been given heavenly bodies. We can't make bodies. We can't make babies anymore. We're spiritual beings now. Every instance from the beginning of this book, Adam and Eve were told to replenish. There was life here before Adam and Eve, or the scriptures wouldn't say replenish. First time. There must have been a reset before the recording of life of Adam and Eve. It's clear in the book. It says that you can go find it. And then after the flood, go replenish. Reset. Here's another great reset, the third one. And the children of Israel will be delivered, safety, wilderness of Judea. They will be then given that same task, just as they started off with life. They're going to be given that task to replenish the earth again with life. But this time through that millennial reign of Christ. And the kingdom of heaven will set down on earth in the New Jerusalem. They say people believe it will set in the same spot as the Jerusalem now. And then you see in the scriptures, it talks about how it's built and the numbers that it's built with, the stones that it's built with. But ladies and gentlemen, on this study, I just want to show you folks, these are two different situations. Job, a minor prophet, is speaking of something in the future. This is not the bride of Christ. I showed you the difference. Carbon copy, moon, sun eclipse, and it shall come to pass, that great and terrible day. Same thing here, but the difference is it's going to be I mean, notable day for us in Acts chapter 2, which is the birth of the church. But here before, you have in Joel chapter 2 again, they're talking same language, but it's a terrible day. And it's not being saved, it's being delivered. How many times did God deliver the people, his children, out of terrible situations using their leaders back then? Delivered them out of the hand of all these different kings that were then brutal to them. That's why the word is used for them, delivered, because that's all he has been doing for Israel, has been delivering them out of the hand of the enemy time and time again. Deliver them out of the hand of Hitler. And Psalms talks about that. I believe it's Psalms 45 through 49, I believe. It's been a minute since I read it. But anyway, everything is always coded in a book. But for us, it's saved. Okay? We're not being delivered to another part of the world. We're being saved from this world because it's about to burn. That's a difference, folks. In those new wine skins. So I just wanted to bring this to you real quick. Hope you've enjoyed the study. You guys have a good evening. God bless.